Mame fa na say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there o say dem yopo.
Like, you before I come to Mujib.
So, good morning.
Good morning.
Let me say good morning to your lovely viewers. Say good morning to the esteemed panel. My brother Mujib, as we shared the same agenda some few years ago.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some of us had to. Well, we kept our agenda.
And I'm praying.
Our agenda is not whether we come or not. Our agenda is to make Ghana great. That's the agenda.
Get it, we did outside.
We'll see about that. A great meeting, my brothers. So, I don't think we've met ever since we became a minister.
No, we haven't.
We
haven't.
Yeah, so
thank you, right?
Pleasure with you. And
I've been watching you from afar, though. Give
yes,
you a thanks.
senior. and which my uncle, comrade, I think I've earned some small rights to call comrade Kusibrat. Good morning. Hopefully we can have a great discussion. I don't think I've been on air since the tragedy happened. Myself, having been well for some time, and I was also around. Pan Africa is a special station. It's one of the few stations I go to, and after the show, I leave having learned so much. I think this station does well with the people they bring on board, and one of such people was Comrade Mutara. I met him on the Wednesday show, Wednesday morning show, and then subsequently we'll be meeting here as in such a fine brain. And I don't think I have to tell anybody about how sharp his brain was. But what I always carry with me when I think about Mutala is the strength of his conviction. I always say that in life, or when you have this discussion, it's not about whether you are right or wrong. For me, it's about how consistent you are with how you think and the courage you have to express him. And I think Mutala had that in abundance. As in he was such a great person, a great patriot, very down to earth. As in, with him, you didn't need to act or feel that. As in, he was very down to earth. He treated everybody the same. I also had a very good relationship with Dr. Sapon. In fact, Sam Sapon, he called me his nephew. He called me on the Monday before the Wednesday, so you can imagine the shock when I heard that he was on the flight. The rest I knew from afar. I knew Omani Boma, not personally, but from afar. He was somebody I had so much great respect for. And to all our compatriots who had to lose their life in such tragic manner in the line of their duty, and I think that the reaction of the people of Ghana, the funeral we gave them yesterday, is testament to our gratitude to how they served this country. So in the light of that, I think flowing from that brought about what's called Honorable Elvis's comments that we need to that he be the envoy. So envoy simply as in he represents the president, or envoys are supposed to represent. He represents the president in terms of what's called, I think, religious. There was some big words there that myself, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. However, you see, we need to make clear that when it comes to governance, when you understand there are so many different kinds of governance. For that, we have aristocracies, we have theocracies, but we also have a democracy. Yes, and Ghana is a democracy. And when we say we're a democracy, what it simply means is that power, sovereignty resides with the people. There are certain states that are theocracies. In those states, power resides from God himself. So being fit, I'm not saying that power, so if you read that, there's so many mentions of God. But as in when you want to go into this earthly governance, then we are not a theocracy. We are not one of those states that believe that the source of political power emanates from God. In Ghana, we say that the source of political power emanates from the people, and that's why we are a democracy. And so the power that the president himself is holding is supposed to be powers that we, the people of Ghana, give him. Nobody gave him those powers. We, the people of Ghana, we are the sovereign. We gave him those powers. The people of Ghana took upon themselves a constitution. And that constitution laid out clearly the scope of those powers. People of Ghana felt that in this constitution, this is a social contract to guarantee for us the rule of law. That we need to separate the church, or we need to separate religion from the state. There's a clear separation. As in, we shouldn't, we need to, be as straightforward as we possibly can. There's a clear distinction between religion and the state. You understand? And the job of government is also clear. I think when you read the Constitution, we all read the preamble. When you read all the legal philosophies, it's clear. The job of government essentially is to guarantee for us the rule of law, to ensure that that rule of law would secure for ourselves our rights to our lives, our rights to our liberties, our right to pursue our own happiness. Indeed, we recognize, people of Ghana, this our constitution, recognize that we may all have faiths. I said, I'm a Christian. My brother Suini is a Muslim. Same for Mujib. We all have our rights to our own faith. We also have a right not to believe in God at all. We all have that right. We also have a right to think. Because the right to speak emanates from the right to think. And there's a duty of the president, of government, to guarantee and secure for us those rights. Right that we believe in nature itself give us. You get the picture. Also, there's a reason why when you go to court, we don't talk about spiritual matters there. There's a reason. When you go to court, and your evidence is spirit, there's a reason. Because the fundamental rule of the game is evidence. How are you going to do it? How are you going to prove it? You understand? So then it becomes a worry when the people we've given our powers to, whose duty is to create a system, a society, that will guarantee for us our right to life. That right to life also includes the right to the quality of life. That's why when you read our constitution, the directive principle of state policy, there's an economic agenda also. There's a social agenda, there's a political agenda, there's an education agenda, there's also a cultural agenda. You understand? The job of government also is to also protect and guarantee for us our right to our liberties. And those also includes our right to think, to speak, to join any religion of our choice. You understand? Now, and obviously our right to pursue our own happiness. And that's why when you are government, you need to create systems. You understand? Systems whose focus is to aid the individual, the Ghanaian, to put the Ghanaian in a situation where all these rights, in their expanded forms, where the Ghanaian will have the best chance of fulfilling them. And so we are waiting for the report of the plane crash. So I'll not even attempt to go there. But then if it turns out that this plane crash happened because of our own failures, be it servicing, then government has failed not just these 8 citizens of Ghana who unfortunately lost their lives, but all of us. And so it becomes a worry when government wants to attempt a certain solution where they are going to fail because they simply can't succeed. Because the way there's review, say you want to review prophecies. Because we have 24 hours in a day. We don't have unlimited time. We have 24 hours in a day. Those 24 hours in a day, you use some to sleep. You use some for various activities. So when the person I've given my powers to wants to tell me that he wants to use a bit of that small time to wander into, and I want to be respectful here, wander into a maze, a journey where that will lead to nothing, because you are simply incapable of. How are you going to review prophecies? How? No, we want you to be serious here. What power? What special skill do you have to say that, okay, Mujib has given a certain. First of all, what is a prophecy? Because we need to define what a prophecy is. Then you can be in the better position of define or delete the scope of those reviews. So let's say I can. So when I take a prophecy, or let's say I use this platform, and then June next year, there'll be massive floods, and about 100 people are going to be displaced. Is there a prophecy? Because in Ghana, because of the failures of government, there are so many things that happen that you can predict. Does prediction make something a prophecy? I don't know if you are getting my point. So for me, it becomes a worry. When we've given executive powers to you, you have powers. Instead of using those powers to create a system, as in better roads, better social structures, better schools, better hospitals, you understand, better equipment for the military, for the police. You want to use those powers we've given you to be reading prophecies. And we're not worried. And we're arguing. Because when you say a review, so let's define what review is. Review simply means to appraise. So let's say if you're going to review your work, I'm going to appraise your work. And there must be some standards. I can't just appraise them by my personal idiosyncrasy. No, I can't. There must be some standards. So let's say you want to review prophecy. What are the standards? Because I've heard that he said, let me finish. I beg you. I beg you. Let me finish. Come on. When you do that, you impact my thought. I beg you. I've heard it said somewhere that the honorable minister, the honorable envoy. Okay, if he's envoy, can I use HE for him? I know for the envoys, the ambassadors will use HE for them. Because I don't want to give a title, a wrong title. I remember I went to a police station and I went to call a chief superintendent. This I'm talking about 2 months ago. The way the man was mad. So I don't want to give a wrong title. Let's say the envoy. That about 70% to 80% of the prophecies that we've already reviewed are useless. What was the basis for those statements? What was the basis? You see, because there's a reason why we gave His Excellency John Mahama the chance to reset. And I did say he started very well, beyond my wildest expectations. And we should not allow people within his team to give the impression that they are going to use the small time they have, that we give them, the small resources we give them, to go into a maze or useless venture. See, we have real problems in this country. We have real problems. When was that last time? So when you take this military, because we all need to be asking questions, and serious questions, because we don't want to be losing our sharpest brains. Like I said, I know Murtala personally. It's sad for the country. I know my condolences to his family. But he was a national asset. Very young man, very sharp young man who has this, I'm saying, conviction. So it's not like you take somebody like Suhini, another very sharp brain. I may not agree with Suhini on everything, but personally, I respect the fact that Suhini has something that no matter what I do, he's going to stand by it. These are the sort of traits, characters you need to build a country. But we've lost one of our sharpest brains. You take Dr. Sapon. I know when we say like Ifinyansa, you know Ifinyansa. Dr. Sapon can control a room without uttering a word. You understand? And you need such people. He's gone. I've heard the tributes or what people have said, the testimonies about the person of Omane Boama. But we've lost him. Now, if these massive losses are because of lack of proper the application of proper procedures on these airlines. Now, serious questions need to be asked. But you see, all these issues will go under the carpet if the people we give our powers to want to pay attention to prophecies. That the people are complaining that when they give their prophecies, it did not get to the people you're supposed to get to. So now they are going to give an email. So, Jesus Christ, we are going to use the small time we have to be going through emails. So I'm going to send an email. Oh, hey, are we serious? I can't think far. I don't know. I can't think far. You want to use the small time to create an email, to be going through, okay, I'm the person who sent an email. Next, Jesus Christ. And because they say that we are religious people, once you mention it's God business, and the minister has done, the envoy has done what he wants to, and we are there looking. It's our power. The power he's wielding is our power. It emanates from us. So we need to question how you want to use the authority we've given you. You want to use this power when there are real problems in this country to be revealing Jesus Christ. Listen, we need to be serious. We are not a country with relative. We have real problems. We have real problems here that needs real solutions to. Real problems. We have an economic system that is not working, simply not working. We have a political system that for a very long time has lacked credibility. We have a system, a society where I can't say that we have social justice. Our culture, our identity, our values as a people is under siege. It's a real problem that needs real thinking. So for somebody who is giving powers to tell me that instead of all these glaring problems, you want to use the small time you have to be reading prophecies. If I were to be the president of Ghana, I'll be reconsidering his position. Because he's envoy. Is that President Mame's position? Because he's the envoy. He's the envoy of His Excellency President Mahama. So is that President Mahama's position that we should create a prophecy review unit to be reviewing prophecies? Jesus Christ. Why is this man doing this to our president? Why? Why is this man doing this to our president? So a prophet comes and says, the prophet said that, and may their families, may their social, the 16 children that lost their lives. If you see the state of our rules, do you need any prophet to tell you that if you don't take time, people will be having more of those deaths? So when we give prophets to you, fix the problem. Don't come and tell me about prophecies. And let me say that I'm a Christian. You see, I'm a Christian. I don't think when Jesus Christ came on this earth, he would have said this. Jesus Christ would never have said this. It was Jesus Christ that said that, listen, if the story of the Good Samaritan, two out of the 3 people were they not going to church. It was something that came to church. But it didn't help the poor man dying there. What was Christ's position on that? So if you have given our powers to you, in fact, when you go into the Bible, why was the kingdom of Israel, the throne taken from Saul? Saul was sacrificing. And the Bible said they took there because he was simply not. Listen, you see, we need to see there are real problems. When you take the Galamsey issue, if government with all the powers you have given you, you don't solve this issue, and people, and I make a prediction, the next 5 years we will have what's called food issues, or people will die. Is that a prophecy or a prediction? So you'll be granted real power. Solve those problems. Do you need a prophet to come and tell you anything? That instead of solving the problems, the Galamsey issue, which we all know will have a rippling impact of causing more people to fall sick, which will have the impact of causing starvation, because the soil itself is being destroyed, which will impact the economy. Because cocoa right now becoming one of the mainstays of our economy. We can't get the numbers. You want to use, instead of solving the problems, you want to use that small time to be reading prophecies. Are you serious? Are you serious? Oh, it doesn't have a two. if maybe he's less busy. It's not every senior NDC man that has to be in government. I'm telling you. See, this is serious. You see, we are joking. That statement is serious. That's the reason why we vet people that want to give up prize to. Amongst them is want to know their state of mind, how they think. Yeah. As in, so what prompted this thinking? That there's a problem. We've lost 8 of our computers because some you want to create a whole unit to review Jesus Christ. I don't think that statement, that review thing, is in line with the reset agenda. Now, because of his position as envoy, it may give a misconception that is the president that is. But based on the present performance from 7th January till now, I don't think this thinking is coming from the president. I'm convinced that this is not coming from the president. Based on what I've seen from 7th January till now, real leadership that suddenly we have, I don't think this is coming from the president. So I'll call on His Excellency John Mahama that acts in a manner that will show all of us that you don't know anything about it. That your envoy, it is his own work. It is. Have you heard any? In fact, I don't know. I mean, I've not heard any senior NDC member even supporting this. If out of respect, to try and run around the topic. But how can you defend this? How can you defend this small time we have? How can you defend what's called prophecy review unit? Jesus Christ, I'm serious. So right now in Ghana, we have a prophecy review unit. So people go to work and they'll sit with me behind their laptops. And then, okay, today we had 100 prophecies. Take prophecy 1. Then you review it. Then after the review, what do you do? So after the review, so you review it. After the review, what do you do? Senna, we need to be serious. Senna, we need to be very serious. There are real issues. I think some steps are being taken to, like I said, on top of my head, the economy lost credibility under the watch of His Excellency Nana Addo. And the evidence were clear. Now that confidence is being restored. We will not agree with every step. Like for instance, I don't agree with why they script the 1D, 1F. But at least the economy, we can all attest that there are small positive steps being taken positively. Good. Lack of political credibility. Little by little, that is also being restored. The Galamsey fight. The same fight that's right now, we have so many martyrs. 8. If you add Major Mahama, now we need to win this battle, this war, for all our compatriots who have lost their lives. These are real issues. See the state of our roads. Yeah. Death trap. We need to solve them. Some Ghanaian children still go to school under trees. There are some of our compatriots who can't afford even two meals. That's a real problem. That's a real problem. We need to find solutions to. Our hospitals, are they good enough that will cause our ministers to want to go there when they are ill, as against going outside? That's a real problem. So much social injustice in the system. I'll call on the envoy of the president. I'll call on the envoy of the president that instead of using that time to be reviewing prophecies, instead, which he can't solve that problem, reviewing prophecies, he should use that time into reviewing the real problems we have been dealt with as a people. There's still tribalism in this country. I can't believe it. There's still tribalism. I made an argument some time ago that we are becoming more tribal than we were in the past. Ghana, I'm telling you. Well, I was born in 79. I saw from 80s. In the 80s, I think we're more tolerant of ourselves, irrespective of that now he should solve those problems. He should solve those, because I've heard him say that this prophecy will help bring social. How will prophecy review bring about social coordination? How? You understand?
Okay.
So for me, I'm massively against that thinking. I'm so worried about that thinking that, in fact, I'm not the president. If I were the president,
The prophecies or the setting up of an office to deal with the
the
prophecies.
setting up, both, you understand?
The setting up of an office is worse.
You understand? That's really.
You can't do anything with the prophecies.
Because
Setting up
No.
office to review prophecies is his problem.
You see,
The topic and then the points.
So the prophecy, when people are giving prophecy, there's a lot going on that I don't like, but I won't come and use this platform to talk about. My concern is that we've given you powers. You see, it's not like, because nobody has given me any power, so I can talk about what I want to do. But we've given you power. Well, this is a democracy. Sovereign power resides in the people. The power that he's using is our powers. You get the picture. And we set out our values in our constitution. And one of the fundamental values in our constitution is the separation of religion from the state, separate. And there's a reason. Like I said, you can't, in court, we don't talk space in court. How are you going to prove it? So it's a worry that somebody I gave my sovereignty to, my powers to create a society where my ambitions can best find a place in, would rather use those powers to be setting up prophecy review units. That is a concern. In fact, it's so deep a concern that I think it should be removed. That's how deep my concern is. Yeah, no, seriously. If you think he should be removed from this statement, then I don't know. That I've given my powers, and what you want to use my powers for is to set up a prophecy review unit. Come on, Ghana, where we are now. Because see, what this does is, because there are real problems. We've lost eight of our compatriots, 8 senior men, and see, when you listen to the testimonies, the sharpness of their brains, to think that we've lost them, it could be that it's sabotage. It could be that we shouldn't at this stage. That's why I say the investigation report hasn't. So I don't want to go into. We shouldn't discount even sabotage. We shouldn't discount any sabotage. And there are real problems here. There are children right now who will see their dad again. And you are in government, and what you're thinking about is prophecy review unit. Are you serious? Are you?
Right.
Please let me stop here. Otherwise, maybe I'll wander into some other places.
Thank you. Well, this is from a statement that was issued by Mr. Elvis Ankrah. His position is actually presidential envoy for interfaith and ecumenical relations. Now, a few comments from those of you who are joining us. This is real Ghana. These prophecies are very offensive to the intelligence of Ghanaians. Why have we allowed ourselves to be controlled by idiots and ignorants who can't read and interpret the Bible and the Holy Quran correctly? They're on radio sets and TV set lying and causing problems every now and then. Senna, these, he says, rascals and charlatans are on radio and sycophants who pose as pastors. We will keep going backwards in other countries. We'll keep going backwards. In other countries, people use their platforms to educate and for healthy debates. We use our platform to spread fear, insults, backwardness, and as a means to undermine government. The ship is sinking, and no one can pilot it to safety until we change our attitudes and get rid of the uneducated charlatans and sycophants in castles in our public spaces. That's coming from Real Ghana, who sent that. Kenny Walker says, on the tribalism, MPP coming to power is the reason tribalism. Okay. That's Kenny Walker. There's Julie Belinda Abreu says the noise and nonsense was going on. Maybe that is why the government decided to calm the system. Abna Pokyaka says, good morning. I strongly believe this prophecy issue is a scheme to disrupt the system and paralyze the government in its poise to reset the country. Said Kojola Loku says, every Ankrah's call for review doesn't mean the president isn't working. Mama is working, is succeeding, and he'll finish strong. And he continues by saying, with all due respect to the panelists, I believe the issue is being exaggerated. The president is working, the cabinet is working, the ministers are working. So for a free Ankrah to, out of frustration, call for a review does not mean the president is idle. The truth is President Mahama is working and succeeding, and will succeed by the end of his mandate. Let us all calm down and recognize the progress being made.
I didn't say the president is working. I don't even say that he is on the right path.
Yes.
You understand? It's the free Ankrah that we must look at.
Kenny Walker says instead of concentrating on research and development, the black man is still practicing superstition. All Ghanaian leaders are into the men of God thing. Nanado used national wealth to build. No, didn't build the church. That one day is not true. The church was never built. Don't come and say to build a church. Nasir Mohammed says, why should GM allow charlatans to control him? This guesswork, professional rogues are getting too much attention. The most successful predictions during the elections was from scientific basis by Musa Dakwa. GM, please listen to your party chairman. Dede says religion is our bane in Ghana and Africa as a whole. Those who brought religion to Africa have turned their backs to it and now supporting and our gullibility will lead us to disaster. Kokusepanu says the founder of our great NDC party, knowing who this perficious devouring highness and wolves are in sheep's clothing with crucifix, never opened his door to them during his tenure as head of government. Well, thank you very much.
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.